Yo, how's everyone doing? Shout out to all you beautiful people. We're approaching 400 subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Amazing journey. Alright. How are you guys doing? Let's say hello to everyone. Oh. Darren, what's up, man? Good to see you. Let me make you a mod here. You don't have to do anything, but my friends just get mod. What's up, Darren? What's up, Bull Runner? How you doing? What's up, Dave? Good to see you. Curtis Hill, welcome back, man. TF, good to see you, brother. Aaron, I hope the business is going well, man. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Fecker, good to see you, man. Julia, what's up? Hungry Queens, good to see you. Alright, guys, so we continue our slow grind lower towards the break of daily structure here at the lows. Attempting to break some 15-minute structure here, right? Probably just to put in a lower high, go attack that low, right? So there's tons of liquidity down here. It's probably scalpable up to like supply, but you know, similarly on the way down, just expect a lower high, right? Guilty until proven innocent. Alright, so first, let's just talk about structure a little bit, guys. Like, most of you guys already know this because y'all are in the Wave Cipher crew, right? But notice how by using market structure, right, we can understand that we're ranging within structure here, that this is a correction, right? It's jagged price action. Then you get your trend move, right? You get a nice uptrend that you can ride and leave runners and make money, and it's fun. Then you get your SFP of the high, right? We didn't come above that SFP level, reclaim the range, right? Then you get your high time frame structure break. And right here on this channel, this was Sunday, I believe, is when we started what we've been saying all week, which is the price action is guilty until proven innocent. And what proves it innocent? A 6-hour structure break or a 4-hour structure break when we had 4-hour structure, but at that time it was 6-hour. We never had a 6-hour break of structure, and by golly, it's a good thing you weren't trying to take swing longs in here because they just pulled the rug on you, right? So this is why this stuff is important. This is why we use structure to study this stuff. It's the only way to trade the market that's ever made complete sense to me. So hopefully you guys are starting to learn that as we continue on our journey as traders. But what's up, JB? Good to have you, man. But we are approaching a very important level that we've been anticipating ever since the SFP of the week high, right? In the structure course that we had on this channel, right, we went over how whenever your week high, whenever you fail to break your week high, right, your strong low dropped the box. You're going to go test that strong low before you hand it another box, right? You don't want to break the stuff that you're moving. Everything comes together. All hell market structure. That's right, Aaron. That's right. All right, so what is important here? So similarly, when we came up here, you guys remember, right? We were looking at, it's very possible that we're SFPing our daily structure if we don't close above 126.096, right? That's what we were saying when we were up here, and we reclaimed the range, came back to test the low. The very same thing applies to the upside, or to the downside, right? We do not want to see a daily close below 109, like basically 109 area, right? Yes, there's support down here. Yes, 105 is a level. Yes, 103 is a level. And yes, we'll be looking for bounces there. But similarly, as long as we're holding this level, when our 4-hour and 6-hour flips bullish again, we can expect it to be the next leg up, right? Once you start durably breaking daily market structure, you have to assume that any break on your 4-hour or 6-hour is simply going to lead to a higher low on the daily until you flip your daily market structure back bullish again to test the, to align with the weekly, right? Now, there's no like real bear market risk until you lose the weekly structure low, right? Which is down here at 98,000. You lose that, put in a higher low, it's not looking so great, right? As long as you hold this, if you close below 109 on the daily, that just means that it's probably going to take a little bit longer because you have to flip your daily structure back bullish again, right? So which means a lot of daily candles to flip that back bullish again. So just something to be aware of. Obviously, we're looking for the SFP, right? Because if we come, this is something that we talked about on yesterday's stream, or it might have been the day before. We've been talking about this stuff all week, but we pulled the high. Right, there's a way that sweeping the low is still bullish. That's if we pull the low, SFP the range, reclaim the range, and then go, right? That's a possibility. Now, let's talk about what we'd be looking at there, right? If we break 109 on a daily candle, come back up, leave a wick, and close here, you guys know the drill. You guys know how to trade that. That's very tradable. We've gone over that so many times on the channel, right? You'll take your entry there, stop loss below the wick. Now, why do we take that trade? We take that trade because as traders, our job is to enter trades with a high risk to reward, and that trade up to premium is like a 6-to-1 risk to reward, right? So you take that trade. Secondly, let's say we don't come down to like the range deviation level itself. We're still waiting for the exact same thing we've been waiting for all week, which is a 4-hour or a 6-hour break of structure. Let's get rid of some of the stuff here because I've been doodling all over this chart. All right, let's start from scratch here. No, keep the locked one. Wait, man. Oh, it's used an alert. Yeah, we can reset that alert. Thought I was about to get rid of my spider lines. All right. No 4-hour structure in here. What about 6-hour? Yeah, so we do have 6-hour structure. So now that we have pulled this low on the 6-hour, right? We are now continuing to ladder down our 6-hour break of structure. Our 6-hour break of structure is now sitting at 114.786, right? So we'll move our alert down there, right? Bitcoin 6-hour bullish break of structure. What's up, Ando Pancho? How's it going, brother? Right? if you're looking to get into a swing long, like we did over here, right? You're waiting for this to break. The price action is guilty until it proves itself that it has the possibility to go up. Now, it needs to prove itself on a large time frame, right? Just like we've been saying all week. Started here, 6 hour, right? The reason for that is, yes, there's scalpable breaks on the 1 hour, right? Like you break 1 hour structure here, sure, you can ride it up to your previous low or your golden pocket, right? But you would expect that to fail, right? You can still bottom fish, right, as long as you cover yourself with stop loss to entry or however you manage risk, right? But you shouldn't be expecting it to durably start going up until we break that higher time frame structure, right? Like there's scalpable structure on the 1 hour. Break that, sure, enter on a pullback, golden pocket, previous low, right? There's trades to be taken, scalps in both directions as always. But the same way that if you're taking shorts in here, you're expecting it to just come down to the golden pocket, right? Short here, come down to the lows, right? But you're not expecting to get like that big pullback until you break high time frame structure. It's the exact same thing upside down that we're seeing this way now, right? Now, there are some warning signs, right? Like when we start to break daily structure, obviously that raises some red flags, right? Now, one thing about this correction is this is a very aggressive correction. Like all of these retraces have been like 382s, right? Like 0.5s directly off of previous lows. Now that does have some benefits, right? Like the fact that all of these highs have, or we can draw it like this. The fact that all of these highs have mitigated the previous area means that there is a lot of liquidity in there, right? So if we flip high time frame structure, we should not have much trouble in like a short squeeze back to the golden pocket, right? It should happen pretty quick, right? Once we break that high time frame structure. I say golden pocket because if we close some daily candles below here and break daily structure, we would expect a retrace. Really, if we close below here, right? We would expect a retrace to the golden pocket to get, well, right here, like here, right? Golden pocket to lead to a lower low, right? Yeah, Darren. Yeah, I mean, daily structure breaks are no joke, man. People do get scared with that, man. Right? We talk about one of our favorite. So I'm not trying to scare you guys. You guys know that I'll always come to you guys with updated information, right? Just letting you guys be aware of stuff, right? When to be bullish, when to be bearish. But one of the patterns that we love, my favorite pattern in structure to trade, right, is what we coined as like the JPAL pattern, right? Which is the SFP break of structure pattern, right? The problem with this one is this is a very bearish JPAL pattern, right? This is SFP the highs on the daily, break the daily low structure, right? So giving it to you guys straight, there's potential here. All right, so we're gonna get into it here, right? Because I feel like now's the time we actually need to talk about this. So what we were talking about back here, when we were talking about this range, and we were talking about getting a close above 118,753, and we were really happy when we got this weekly close because that proves that it's not a range deviation and that we're going to be going higher, right? Now the problem with that is that we did get that on the weekly, but on the monthly, right? That looks a little scary, right? It looks like it's possible range deviation out of this monthly range, right? It's our monthly high, this is our monthly low on monthly structure. Pull this, right? Flip the weekly bearish, maybe flip the monthly bearish, and then we're, coming out 40K or whatever. But yeah, so just something to be aware of. I'm not trying to get you guys super bearish, right? I gave you guys the conditions to flip bearish at the start of the stream, right? And I gave you guys the weekly level. The weekly level is 98K is the real line in the sand, right? Once you get into a weekly downtrend, look out below, right? So definitely something to be aware of. Okay. Cool. Enough of that. Again, obviously, right, there was the trend line that we were watching. Right? lose the weekly trend, retest the weekly trend as resistance, reject off of it, break daily structure. Not yeah, Curtis. Yeah, just gotta make sure people are aware, dude. Gotta make sure people are aware. When it's time to be super bullish again, we'll get right back, Curtis. Don't worry. Don't worry. We just trade structure. Yeah, so there are some bearish signs to be aware of course. But that being said, no time to panic, right? We don't panic here. No time to panic. We have our levels, 109,000. We understand that level also aligns with a huge block of decision demand that we've been planning for a very long time. So we could hit that decision demand, SFP the low, reclaim the range, and go. Right? And the safest trade is to wait for that, and then also wait for it to align with the 6-hour structure change, get long, ride it up, right? The more aggressive entry is to enter off of the SFP of this like 109,000 level. All of that being said, we technically have not broken the daily low yet, right? So there's no daily break of structure yet, bearishly, but it's really, really close to where we currently are, right? So it's just important to talk about this stuff. You guys know the levels. We went over them yesterday. If you missed yesterday's stream, right, the levels we're looking for is first like the mitigation of here, like 110.5, right? Next level is the golden pocket area, like 108-ish area, and then the next level is this beautiful daily unmitigated decision block right here, about 103, which is kind of our last line of defense for our $98,000 low. Something to watch. All right, so guilty until proven innocent. Set your alerts 114,786, and you guys know how to watch this as it evolves, right? Two consecutive candles push the same direction, create a high. So it was here, we broke the low, it became here. Now we've broken the low again, we put in a high, now it's here. As the price evolves, it will continue to update. I know I'm not going to stream for 2 days unless something crazy happens, right? So just understand how to trail your low down, or your high down. If you don't understand how to do that, join the Discord. There are a bunch of market structure absolute killers in there, and everyone's learning. There's no ego in there. You can ask any question you want. You can give any opinion you want. We're just learning. So join the Discord. Ask, hey, where's the current 6-hour high? We'll give it to you. All right, so just follow structure. Guilty until proven innocent. Continue to ride. Any questions? I'm going to drink some water. All right, cool. It's the end of the week. We've done great. We've prepared ourselves. We've given you the new level on the 6-hour. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Is there anything you guys are struggling with? Any questions you guys have? Before we jump into altcoins, ETH, and all that jazz. It's Thursday. It's the end of the week. Is there anything the group wants to discuss? Anyone hit a banger trade this week? Alright guys, well, I guess if there's any coins you guys want to look at, throw them in the chat. Great question, Queen. So I like to take swing trades at the bottom of ranges and hold those for as long as possible. And during strong uptrends, so I'm a market structure trader, right? So since we're in a weekly uptrend, I like to trade the market whenever the weekly is going up, is in a confirmed uptrend. The 4 hour, the daily obviously, right, is in there, but it's the 4 hours in an uptrend, and like the entry time frame of like the 1 hour is also in an uptrend, right? I like to trade when all of my large term time frame, my bias time frame, and my entry time frame are all aligned. So in this environment, like when we're going up here, I was getting long here, leaving a runner. I was scalping the moves up. And then when we broke structure, closed out of all of that. I haven't really been trading this correction down, right? You can. It was tradable, right? You could have got short here, rode the correction down. I'm waiting for structure to break to get long. That's what I'm doing right now. Now, I do take some scalps during the day. I do like scalping, but I prefer to get entries at the low of the range and try to ride them up. I'm more of like a swing trader. The scalps are much lower size than the swings, but yeah, I do scalp. But generally, when we're trending, I like to scalp. If we break the daily structure bearish, then I will be looking for some shorts if like the 4 hour breaks short again. Yeah, of course. No, Queen, so normally I'm not scalping all day. There are times when I'm very actively scalping, but normally no. If I take, recently at least, the scalps that I've been taking during the day, like if I'm scalping New York Open, I generally post that setup in the Discord for you guys. Yeah, we can look at those. What's up, IKB? How you doing? What's up, Lydio? Okay. All right, well, let's look at ETH. Let's take a look. So we're still in our flag here. So ETH is still under bullish 4 hour market structure, which is interesting because if Bitcoin breaks the low, like SFP's the low, ETH is in a great spot to continue up. But if Bitcoin is just gonna shit the bed, then ETH is gonna shit the bed too. So I'd always provide caution, right? Whenever doing TA on altcoins, especially when Bitcoin is looking a little shaky, right? So just make sure you're always keeping an eye on Bitcoin. But it is under bullish 4 hour market structure. So what we were talking about yesterday didn't happen, right? This is why it's really important to look at your structure, right? We were talking about, right, this is our inverted JPEG pattern that we were talking about Bitcoin possibly having on the daily, right? We love to trade this pattern, right? So if you were looking at a short there, but we were talking about possibly getting that break of structure, getting like a reversal JPEG right after that one on the 15-minute. What happens? They get you excited, they SFP it, down we go. Right? Oh yeah. Before we go to ETH, sorry. Let's get rid of everything. So yesterday on the stream, where was that? Where were we yesterday? Yeah, here, right? We were talking about a short here on the stream. We're talking about breaking structure here, trying to get short on the retest, of supply, ultimately targeting that previous daily low here. So just so you guys understand how you would have executed that, right? So we were waiting for it on the stream. I think it was here. They SFP'd it on the stream, so we didn't get the chance to take it, right? So after they SFP it, that becomes your new low. You break that low here. They actually gave you a chance to get short up here. Well, let's see. Where did we actually break it? No, we broke it here. So you break it. Break it here. So they break your structure here. Now, why did that move? Because we put in a new high, right? Structure folks, you know that. So then you break your structure here, you get your retest of supply, and down you go, right? They stopped everyone out who had stop losses, SFP'd the high again, or retested supply again, and down we go, right? And you're approaching your first take profit here, like well, your first take profit would have been here, but you're approaching your take profit here like 111, A12. You should have taken profit at the previous low though. Yeah, so that played out what we were talking about on the stream. That's how you do structure to enter, right? Cool. Just wanted to make sure we didn't leave that. Are you guys hanging on that? Yeah, so whenever you are waiting for structure to take an entry, right, if you SFP that high, you're obviously not going to take the long, right? You could, since you're in a downtrend, you really could take a short there, but just structurally understanding what your entry criteria looks like. Cool. Okay, so with the 4-hour break, let's see, did we leave a breaker block behind? We didn't leave a breaker block behind. Let's look at like our 1 hour. So one thing to keep in mind, right, whenever you see structure coming down in a fashion like this, so this means that all of this is getting mitigated on the way down. So should there be a reversal, it's going to happen really fast. So that's just something to understand. So if you are short on ETH, you should be moving your stop loss down with structure, because if this downtrend breaks, the move up is going to be like a hot knife through butter back to the liquidity up here. Because, let's zoom in, explain why. So with every move down, it's coming back and mitigating the previous range, right? You'd have a little bit of resistance here because this didn't get mitigated. Everything else has been mitigated. So this is just a bunch of liquidity. It would slice through it like butter. It would a quick stop here and then right to the highs. So just something to be aware of with structure. We are hitting demand here. Have we broken our 1 hour yet? No, we have not. We don't have 1 hour structure in here at all. Which actually means that this was a 1 hour structure break too, so we do have a breaker block. Okay, so let's be a little more specific here. So we're bouncing off our OBIM right now. So if our 1 hour is bullish, our 4 hours bullish, our 15-minute, we flipped our 15-minute bearish here. Oh yeah, we were looking at it last night, right? Yeah, we can look at ETH to Bitcoin. All right, sorry, I was reading chat. Okay, so you pull your low on 15-minute structure here after hitting the breaker block here. We have a 15-minute OBIM here. So we have a little bit of overlap. Is that at the golden pocket as well? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, so you pull our 15-minute low here. We SFP it. This is our high. All right, so just thinking out loud here, if ETH takes this, you really want to keep an eye on what Bitcoin's going to do, but just giving you ETA alone, If you pull this high, you can get long stop loss below your strong low. But if Bitcoin's gonna SFP the bottom of the daily range, I like ETH here. So if you can come down, put in some structure down here, hit this level, break structure out of this level, get long here. Why are we talking about longs on ETH and not on Bitcoin, right? Because ETH already has bullish 4-hour structure. That's why. All right, that's the key difference. Now, okay, so notice how we're putting everything together, making a plan, right? So we know that there's a lot of liquidity to slice through here, right? We're gonna stop momentarily here. Let's put all these ideas together. They're like 4,300-ish, right? So if we're taking profit, that would be our first take profit. It's already like a 3.56, right? Now we're assuming that we have structure to protect our stop loss here. 15-minute structure is fine because the 1 hour is already bullish and the 4 hour is already bullish, right? So your entry time frame, if your bias time frame is like your 1 hour, your entry time frame can be your 15-minute, right? So if we're coming back to what we know is a 4-hour OBIM and a 1-hour OBIM and the golden pocket 786, right? Your first take profit would be up here like 42.94, and your second take profit would be the previous highs. Turns into like a 6-to-1 trade. It's a really nice trade. This would align with the idea of like the Bitcoin swiping the daily low and getting a bounce, right? It's also spider line to spider line, right? Which adds some confluence, which is nice. Yeah. Nice structure in here. Yeah, this is either just gonna like shit the bed, or sorry, I really shouldn't curse like that. It's really just gonna fall apart, or it's gonna set a low here at this area and bounce, right? If ETH loses 4,000, you guys know where we're going, right? We've been planning for this for a while. I think we had one above that too. No, I didn't. Yeah, it's going to the decision block, right? Which is like 37.39. We've been preparing for this. Let's put our little special box here. Right. I think we gave 3 levels yesterday, right? The first one's obviously the mitigation at 41.50. What would that be from the highs? Yeah, like 20%. Look at that. 20% correction would be right to our special box, right to the previous decision demands, right? STB? Yeah, I can't go. Thank you. Good call. Yeah, if ETH is going to STB, I mean, it doesn't roll off the tongue the same, but that works. Yeah, so like 37, 39. If you want ETH levels in terms of macro, go watch the first 15 minutes of yesterday's stream. We went over all the ETH levels. But hopefully that was educational on like how to set up a trade, right? Understanding, like putting all of the market structure pieces together. Understanding, okay, our 4 hours flip bullish, our 1 hour flip bullish. Let's look where the 4 hour breaker blocks are. Let's look where the 1 hour breaker blocks are. Let's map out some structure. What would it look like if we came down? Where are our targets? Where's our unmitigated supply that's going to stand in our way? Where's our ultimate weak high that we can target, right? That's kind of how I think when I'm putting together a trade. And those are the things that you want to look at to get the full picture, right? We're also using the context of Bitcoin, understanding that there's a big liquidity level below us on Bitcoin. So even though ETH looks good where it is right now and it's bouncing off an OBIM, okay, cool, ETH, prove it, right? Prove it to me that you want to go higher. Prove it to me. Come up here, don't SFP and break it. All right, cool, then I'll get long. Until then, you're guilty, bro. You're guilty. Come lower to my zone, break structure there, I'll get long, I'll ride you up, right? Letting the market show its hand, right? All right, put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. We'll go to the next coin. All right, love to see it, guys. All right, cool. What did you guys want to look at? LDO. Sure. What is that? Hey, at least it's in an uptrend. Interesting. Nice liquidity grab, W. So obviously, right, like it's hitting its head on supply. So we would expect it to get a bit of a pullback here, right? Now it's hitting its head on daily demand. Did it already mitigate this? No. Okay. So it's getting pinched between supply and demand. It's pretty high on its weekly trend. We know it's got support here, though. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's look at our weekly actually first. So you've got a weekly order block here. Nice. Let's look at our 4 hour. So you break your 4 hour structure bearish right here. Hopefully you guys are starting to recognize the patterns and why I like certain patterns so much, right? So we break our 4 hour bearishly here. We're coming down. Let's see. We come down, we set a high here. We SFP that high, we break structure again, another JPAL pattern right here, right? We set a low, we set a high, we reject off of supply, we come down, we break the low, well, I'll tell you right now, I see a short. We SFP'd that. Tell you what, I see. Let's just make sure the RR is there. I mean, the RR is... It's okay. I mean, you could obviously, you guys understand structure, use structure to get a better entry. Understanding the logic, right? We have this 4 hour breaker block here. We'll label that supply. Now, the interesting thing is, ultimately, right, like my big target for demand would be down here. And if price comes all the way down there, it's like a 7-to-1, right? But you have to look at, like look both ways when you're crossing the road, as Kyle says, with like stuff on the order book, right? I mean, the same thing applies with unmitigated demand, right? If you have an unmitigated weekly breaker block, you're going to want to lock in some profit, move your stop loss to entry after you hit that level, right? So when you're calculating your risk to reward, you have to understand that you would first, right? So this is like a 2.5 to 1 with the potential to go higher. Now, if you incorporate 15-minute structure into that, right? You wait for it to come up here. Wait for it to come up here. Break structure, retest, right? Whatever. We'll just draw it like that. Right? And then you're getting in here. Stop here. Then notice how by using market structure, you make it like a way better risk to reward. But if you're using like a strong high as your stop loss, you can set it and forget it, right? If you just want to set your short here, stop loss here, understand your 2.5 risk to your first TP, you do that as well. That's kind of what I see on LDO. This is a very strong level. Like if you're looking for a long on LDO, the first place I'd look is this weekly order block. What would change my mind and get me to think of a long sooner? Well, you got to flip your 4 hour. If you don't flip your 4 hour, I think you're coming to 120 first. All right, so let's see. Where would you flip your 4 hour? So now that you've put in a low, now that you've swept that low, your new 4 hour break of structure is sitting at 136. So assuming that if this low is going to hold, right, which, I mean, you have a lot of liquidity in here, right? Keep that in mind. That's the reason that we're looking at this. But what would change my mind, right? Why do we have our stop loss here, right? Because this is our 4 hour strong high. Now, if you're able to break that strong high, then you can get in on the mitigation with the expectation that you're going to revisit and attack that weak high, right? That would change my mind. Until then, I think your best play is the short we just drew up. Cool. Ave? Yeah, let's look at Ave. Whew. Man, Ave got real close to breaking weekly there. That's kind of crazy. Saved down here. The Ave Bulls absolutely saved it down here. Okay, let's go to the daily. All right, so you break your daily bullish here. Wow. Yeah, the Bulls stepped in. They saved it, and once they saved it, it was off to the races. That's pretty gnarly. That's cool. So we were butting our head on this daily breaker block here. Supply. We've pretty much mitigated that at this point. Did we swipe the high there? We did swipe the high there, so we have our daily low here. Something to be aware of. So that means if we drew our fib here. Whew, yep. They right at the golden pocket bounce. We put in a little order block here on the daily as well. Let's look at our 4 hour. It looks like they might have already broke that out of the golden pocket. Yeah, they did. Market structure, guys, right? Look what happens. This is what we're waiting for on Bitcoin. This is a perfect example, right? So this is a perfect example. So you break your 4 hour, right? Now you guys understand this right here was not breaking 4 hour, right? Can anyone tell me why this was not breaking 4 hour, but this is? I'll wait. I'll give you guys time. Someone's going to tell me. What's the difference? Not a demand area? Well, it doesn't really matter if it's a demand area. But you are correct. It was kind of in a random spot, right? It was just like the SFP of the low. Lower high? Yeah. Yeah. If you mean, yeah, that's kind of it. It's because this break was internal. Right? This was internal. Why? Because before the 4 hour put in this high, it put in this low, right? You need 2 consecutive bearish candles pushing in the same direction to create a low. There's no 2 consecutive candles in anywhere in here. So whenever this high was made, it was strong low, weak high. Right? So when this break happened, this was an internal break of structure, right? But all of this is internal structure between here and here. The difference is, once you break that structure, break that structure, then you put in a new high here, right? Because there's 2 green candles. You break that structure. You put in a new high here, you break that structure, then you break bullish. Technically, you could say you broke bullish here because, oh wait, yeah, there's 2 red candles. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah. What I was saying, right? So you break structure here. That's your external break. Right? This break right here is a trap. This is a trap. For people who don't understand the difference between internal and external structure. Alright. Wait, is the music still going? Oh, sorry guys, the music's been going the whole time. I thought I stopped that earlier. Alright. So that's a trap. No, Kango, we don't get fooled, bro. The trap's not for you. So you break your 4-hour bullish here, and then you mitigate the previous range. And it's off to the races, up you go. So if we pull back, where would we be looking for? We put in a nice little breaker block here. It depends really how bullish this is, but it looks good. If you come back to 280, it's a great level. 281 is a great level. Okay, so I'll tell you this. So on the 4-hour, if you close above 305, close above 305, you can get long in here, stop loss here, targeting the highs 3-1. Behind your strong lows. You must close above 304.99. Close above 304.99. Now, obviously, right, you can get in on a retrace to make your RR better, right? But, I mean, it's already a 3 from the highs. But if you break this, this is now a strong low, which we want to use strong lows to protect our stop losses. You can now use that strong low to protect yourself. Otherwise, you can draw your pullback levels. 786 lines up 281. Yeah, 281.42 would be great, right? Because, and this is assuming that we don't break this, right? So if we don't break this, 281 is a great level because you can put your stop loss behind a strong low. You can pull it up. TP1 here, right? TP1 here, 3-1. Leave a runner, turns into an 8-1. Right? Those are the 2 things that that I would see on the long side for Ave. On the short side, you got to wait for 4-hour to flip bearish again. So yeah, let's talk about it. On the short side, let's say you close above here, right? Then you come back and break this low. Then you test it as resistance. You can get short. Look to write it down to, I would say, like here. And you'd want to use structure to get a better RR. Basically what I'm saying is don't look for shorts on Ave until you break 4-hour market structure, which right now would be breaking this low. But if you break this high, then it's breaking this low. You guys understand that, right? Cool. Those are the longs that I see on Ave. Or the trades I see on Ave. Let's see. GameStop? Yeah, I'll look at GameStop for you. I'm not going to... let me get through all the cryptos first for everybody. Show guy? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were wanting to ask some questions about Chill Guy. Yeah. Go ahead and throw them in chat. Whatever you wanted to ask, Kim. Oof. Oh, this looks very similar. I don't like the SFP though. Well, Ooh, okay. Ooh, chill guy looks interesting. Yeah, what questions did you have? This looks interesting. Especially with how bullish we are on Sol right now. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll tell you what I like about Chill Guy. But let me first make you aware of something. So, where'd you break your daily? Hold on. Daily high. No, you're still under bullish daily market structure. Okay. Oh, yeah, because you SFP'd your daily low here. No. No, you... Wait a minute. Give me a second here. It's a little complicated. Hold on. So under bearish 12-hour. Flipped. Daily. That's not a valid high. Yeah, so you're under bullish daily market structure as long as you don't lose this. As long as you don't lose 41.49. Which means your daily strong low is pretty close to price right now. So on your 4-hour, what I like is that you broke 4-hour structure. You had your SFP. And then you broke structure out of that here. And then you're performing your mitigation right now. So is there a structure break in here that we can use? Let's zoom in. No 1 hour. Let's see 30 minute. No 30 minute. 15 minute out of this. They double topped that. 46, yeah, they double topped it. I'll tell you what I like. Oof. I like this. So there is a trade here, structurally speaking, since you have your daily strong low here. Like if you just believe in Chill Guy for some reason, right? Like you, which I mean, I bought a bunch of Chill Guy back when we were at the previous lows down here, or on the daily. Back here. But yeah, so since we have our daily strong low there, you can just get long with your stop loss below here. And if you're taking that trade back to previous highs, that's like an 8-to-1, right? So as long as you're handling your risk properly, you're risking 1%. Yeah, the low is strong at like 41.37. If you want a more nuanced entry, you can look for this, right? One more sweep down, which will align with like Bitcoin sweeping the daily low, right? Come back up, break structure, use that as your stop loss, and then you can have your stop at like, well, wherever this stops, right? It obviously depends where it stops, but you can have a better risk reward that way. Yeah, that's the two things that I would do, Kim. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you get in on the sweep, like if you have the confidence to do that, then you can have like a really insane risk to reward. But the structure confirmation is is waiting for the structure to break on 30-minute. Yeah, so I would say a 30-minute structure break out of this demand zone, anywhere in here. I would like that to get long. To get short, you want 4 hour to break again. To get short, you want these lows to break. No, I wouldn't short it till these lows break. Cool. Yeah, the shorts would be like if we break daily structure, break 4 hour, then like Sunday maybe we can talk about getting in a short. But for now, I see these longs. That's what I see. Awesome. Let's see. Chill guy. Yep, we looked at that. Okay. Link. Yeah, Lydia, we can look at Link. Hey! Heck yeah, boys. Cool. Alright, yeah, we can celebrate this, right? But it doesn't really help you guys now, so let's start over, you know? Alright. Go ahead and remove everything. Market structure, guys, right? Hits the target perfectly. Market structure. Yep, let's go. Okay. What are we looking at here? Let's see. Daily low here. Looks like a 618 bounce. SFP the high. 4 hour. Pull the high. So you have. So you break your 4 hour structure bearishly here. You break it bearishly here. Put in a high. Put in a low. You break it back bullishly here. You're coming down to mitigate right now. You have a bullish order block here. Okay, so we don't have any 1 hour structure. So 1 hour structure low is down here. On Chainlink, I would set an alert here, like 24052. If you get a structure break down there, I like this. And obviously you can leave a runner on that, right? But I like it down there. It's interesting that these altcoins are breaking 4 hour structure like ahead of Bitcoin. It makes me interested in Bitcoin's SFP a little bit more. Okay, so 1 hour, we don't have anything. What about 30-minute? Really? 30-minute low is here? Dang, it's still what about 15-minute? Alright, so we break our 15-minute structure here, but our high, there's no actionable structure on this here yet. I mean, you can get into the nitty-gritty with it. I mean, this is a bounce level, right? You can say if you break your 5-minute here, I mean, what risk are you looking at here? You're looking at 5-minute highs here. 2%. It's a little steep. I mean, if you just absolutely think the low's in, make it prove itself here on Link. At least let it break 25,242, right? By waiting, you save yourself like a little bit of risk, right? It's still a 3-to-1 to the highs. I prefer this. These are the two trades I see on Link. I prefer this. And down here, I would like to see like a 30-minute structure break out of here. Get long. Boom, boom, right? Set it and forget it long would be just this. So you might set it and forget it long. But notice that how the risk to reward goes from like 4 to 8 just by using structure for your entry, right? That's what I see on Link. Cool beans. All right. For shorts on link, I want to make sure I give you guys both sides. You got to break your 4 hour again, which means you got to come down below here. Here's the short on link. Hold on. Hopefully you guys got, or I'll leave that on there just because. So if you break your 4 hour down here, bearish again. Yeah, no. You'd have to get actionable structure. Yeah, just ask me on Sunday. I might have a short for you. Right now I see these two longs. All right. Idea link. Soul. Yeah, let's look at Soul. Let's do it. Love it. Absolutely love it. We're doing it live, folks. We're doing it live. Well, there's the trade from yesterday. Yeah. I don't think anything's changed. Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Let's see what you're saying about Cipher Matrix. Pretty sure a lot of people left to go watch Frankie stream or something so we can just hang out here. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Soul breaks here. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, so Soul breaks oh, my dog got excited for me clapping. Soul breaks 183, you start moving fast. Luna, it's me. Shh. Yeah. Yeah. I the same exact trade that we gave yesterday. Exactly. And you guys know why, right? I mean, you guys stuck around. You guys are my structure crew, right? It's the exact same reason that we got long back here. The exact same thing, right? 4 hour structure breaks. Draw your golden pocket. Take the trade. Short it down. Long it up. 4 hour structure. Structure breaks. Short it. Structure breaks. Long it. Cool beans, guys. Well, you guys know the drill. Let's just hammer it home one more time. Guilty until proven innocent. Let it prove itself. Let it break structure on the high time frames. Otherwise, we're looking at that 109 level for the daily range deviation. Looking at like 111.4 for possible just regular SFP. But let it do what the altcoins have already done, right? Let it break high time frame structure. We'll get long on the pullback, and we'll ride it up, make a bunch of money. I appreciate all y'all being here. You guys are the fam. As always, much love, guys. Trade safe. My name is Wave Cipher. We are almost to 400 subs. We're going to do a giveaway at 400. So stay tuned for that. Much love, guys. Wave Cipher out. Have a good one. So IKB. So you can enter like 50% of your position on the break of structure, and then you can add on the pullback because sometimes it'll take off. You will get a mitigation, but sometimes you can make some money before the mitigation. But yeah. Anyways, I wanted to answer that for you real quick. Oh yeah, for sure, man. Definitely can look at GME. GME USDT, no, that's not what I wanted. Sure, let's look at it. Overtime. No, Lydia, no, thanks for keeping me honest, man. Thanks for reminding me. Let's look at it. All right, so GME on the weekly, you broke your weekly structure here, bullish here. You absolutely blow off top, ridiculous pumped, right? But you understand market structure, so you understand that it's going to come back and mitigate, right? Because you understand that it's going to range, initiation, mitigation, and then possible continuation. So you wait to buy your options position right here, right? You smart little trader. Hopefully. Don't buy your options trade way up here, right? No? Okay. Yeah, so on the weekly, we initiate, we mitigate out of the 22 range, come back up, looks like a lower high, looks like a golden pocket retrace. Yeah, it looks like a golden pocket retrace, lower high, come back down. Now, you are still technically bullish on the weekly, but this is a meme stock, so just be careful. I mean, it's pretty clearly ranging, right? Like, you're clearly in a range. Let's look at our daily. All right, so this is your daily low down here. Your daily highs up here. This is all internal consolidation. Look at our 4 hour. Put in a low. Break the low. High, break it. 4 hour. All right, I have I'm assuming you're looking for longs on this thing, right? So first of all, I'll tell you this. If it doesn't come above this VWAP, don't long it. Don't long it. You start trading above this VWAP here, you can come back to fill the gap. Safest trade is waiting for the 4 hour structure break here. I would say if the 4 hour closes above 2482, you're likely going to fill the gap in the range. And that's like a 15% move. Otherwise, if you can't catch a bid, you're probably going to come lower. Where would we look? Point of interest. Point of interest here. This is where a big position was built that led to this massive blow off top, right? You can tell just by looking at volume, right? Where does the volume pick up, right? Assets dead. Somebody figures something out. They start massively accumulating the asset here. Then, after they're done accumulating their position, they tell everybody else what they found out. Boom, huge pump to the upside. They sell out. If it comes back to this area, also our Wyckoff decision block, right? Would expect to get a reaction there. Like 1725, I would look to get back in for, even if it's the next lower high, whatever. It's probably going to be a pretty good pump out of there. So yeah, that's what I have for you. So you break 24.75, you can fill the gap up to 28.45, maybe come for the liquidity at like 35. Patient trader, SFP this perfectly too high low, right? SFP that low into 17 bucks. Come back up to the top of the range. That's what I see. For the patient trader, especially on a meme stock, 17.25, man. That's what I got for you. Hope that helps, bro. Aircent, go ahead and join the free learning Discord pinned to the top of the chat, man. Come hang out with us. I'll help you out. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, you got a little bonus meme stock TA here. My name's Wave Cipher. You guys have an amazing weekend. I may come on randomly tomorrow or Saturday, but if not, I'll see you guys for the weekly open on Sunday. Trade safe. Much love. Wave Cipher out.